Hey everyone, how's it going? So, just beat Binary Domain, and about to do my review here. It's a really good game, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just tell you guys what I wrote, and then give my general thoughts and stuff like that. Um, to begin, I think this game is more of a sleeper hit than anything. Uh, a lot of people, obviously this game it's Japanese made, it just got an American release. But I don't think that a lot of people necessarily um, know what it is, and more essentially, a lot of people just look at it and just say, okay, you're just shooting lots of robots and it can get very repetitive. And that's like not the case. This game is probably one of the most enjoyable single-player campaigns that I've ever played, and it's due to the interesting story and the great characters. So this is definitely a sleeper hit, in my opinion. Um, so if you have a chance to play it, I'd highly recommend you at least rent it. It's very enjoyable all the way through. Alright, guys? So I just wanted to start off by saying that. But anyway, let's go over the positives and negatives. Like I said, great story. The campaign is really interesting. You got what's basically going on is it takes place in the year 2080, right? And you're basically entering Tokyo covertedly, right? And what's going on is that there was this hollow child who is basically hollow children are basically humans that look like or actually I'm sorry, robots that look like humans. So if you ever saw Terminator Salvation, what's his name? The guy. Sam Worthington, the actor who played that, robot guy, but he was actually human. That's kind of essentially what went on. And that attacked an American company, and basically uh, the Geneva Convention, which basically outlawed, saying that it was banned to make robots actually look like humans, and that's a violation of Clause 21, and that's like the whole thing. So they deploy what they call rust crews, which are basically squads from different members of all different countries, who are in this to basically find out what's going on and who's, basically creating these robots and basically bring them in for questioning. Okay, so you actually play as Dan Marshall, who is part of the rust crew, and you enter Japan covertly. You have to meet up with the other squads and find out, um, and basically bring the guy who runs the Japanese company who makes this called Amada. You have to bring Amada back to Geneva so they can question him and find out, if he actually did that, and just more or less just take care of the problem at hand. All right, and that's just basically the story. Um, Surprisingly, it doesn't sound like much, but it really is interesting, and uh, it has to be one of my favorite things about this game was the actual story and seeing it unfold. So if you're going to get this game, I highly recommend that you get it for its story specifically. I tried to play like a match or two of multiplayer, and it just seems tacked on. I'm not really. I mean, it's kind of confusing to get into the game with multiplayer because you basically sit in a lobby, which is actually in the game. You can actually move your character around the map during the lobby, and you think you're playing the game, but you can't kill anyone. And so, and you have to wait for people to join, and it's just buy this game for its campaign only. So that's just I just want to get that out here. But this is just a campaign review, so I'm not going to be talking about multiplayer anymore. Second thing I like to talk about is the characters. Now, their names and stuff like that they're all kind of stereotypes. Their names, their looks, they're all stereotypical of their specific country. All right, and what's really interesting is that the reason that they're so great is because their personalities and how they interact with each other, especially you know um, seeing the interaction between two people from different countries and two points of views and stuff like that. That makes it really interesting, and it's pretty enjoyable to see these guys kind of share or say something, and then the other person's all like what, and see how other people interact with each other, and just see how all the characters kind of come together, and it's kind of like they're stuck in this hard situation, but they have to work together even though they don't fully trust everyone. So the characters I really enjoyed. The dialogue I thought the dialogue all fitted their personality perfectly, and yeah, just the characters overall were really fun to listen to, really enjoyable, and it was really nice, seeing them kind of interact with different people from different countries. Next, the graphics. Great graphics. Now this is made by the guys who made the Yakuza series, which is a game specifically on the PlayStation 3. It's a PlayStation exclusive title. Um, so obviously, the graphics are gonna look, of that quality. They've always been good at making character, facial animations, and just character models overall, and that's definitely the case here. All the character models look fantastic, even in game too. The in-game character models easily look as good as the ones in the cutscenes. So the graphics itself are really cool. Like I said, it takes place in the year 2080 in Tokyo, so you have all these graphics, all of these brands, and it's you're going to be fighting in lots of suburban environments and stuff like that. But the graphics are just overall fantastic, in my opinion. I really enjoyed the graphical style and the the facial animations and everything like that really helped bring the story to life. So great graphics overall. A good soundtrack, that's always important, and I think I actually like the soundtrack for Syndicate a little bit better. This one's this one has a kind of movie quality soundtrack to it. It has like the action soundtrack and stuff like that, but um, it does have a good soundtrack and it does get you pumped up. So definitely, it's good to listen to the different music and stuff like that. Some of the music is actually reused throughout the levels. So, I mean, depends. I mean, I really didn't see a problem with it, but I just noticed that some music was actually used multiple times during different levels. So there's that. Next thing, we're actually going to get into the combat here. Next thing is the amazing and huge boss fights. You have never fought bosses this big. I promise you. You have like your squad of 3, right? And you're fighting bosses that are like the size of like a 10-story building or something like that. And it's incredible because you're going up against this huge scale, and it's really cool, to see how tall this this robot is. He's like, massive, and you're this 3 puny humans, you're trying to take him out. Um, and the boss fights are hectic. I mean, they're huge. They're hectic. They throw everything at you, and you kind of just have to find a safe place and attack, and stuff like that. And for the boss fight, it does mix up the gameplay a little bit. You do have to actually destroy the AI core, so you can basically destroy them that way and stuff like that. And your weapons do have some secondary fire options that will help stun them, or just help give you a few seconds to help to basically work something out with your teammates or get into a certain position or something like that. So huge boss fights there. Um, Definitely probably my most enjoyable. And there's a lot of them too. There's probably like, I want to say 10 boss fights. There's definitely a lot of them. So when you pick up this game, don't be surprised if you fight a boss. If you fight a boss and then like 5 minutes later you fight another one, because it does happen. It does. All right, so there's that. Um, Overall, wrapping up the campaign, it took me about 8 to 10 hours, which is pretty good. Definitely 8 to 10 hours. That was enjoyable the whole way through. There wasn't a particular segment where I was just bored, or I just never just wanted it to end or just wanted to move on. I actually didn't want this game to end. I was they ended it in a way that was exciting, and definitely I think cool, but I didn't really want it to end. It was one of those games where you're just like, man, I want it to continue. I'm enjoying it so much, and stuff like that. So, but 8 to 10 hour campaign. That was on normal difficulty, so Definitely a good standard long campaign. Actually, I think the standard today is like 6 hours, right? I mean, it's barely anything, but um, 8 to 10 hours, good length, and enjoyable the whole way through. Uh, Lots of variety in locales. Um, you're gonna be fighting. Well, basically, in Japan, it's similar to Deus Ex, where you have um, Shanghai. Basically the two-story city. It's similar to that. Um, when you basically have a lower city, which is all this, poverty and all just the eroded buildings and the destroyed, just all that, rubble and stuff like that. And then there's the upper city, which is like the brand new, high tech, pristine quality city. It's like luxury and like the poor. What actually went on is that the sea levels, as far as the Earth goes, the sea levels actually rose and actually started flooding basically and taking over all of Japan. So at the beginning of the game, you're fighting in a destroyed, destroyed streets and stuff like that, and there is lots of water. You're gonna be swimming, and then there's just you can definitely tell it's been through a huge flooded mess. So it just basically floods the whole sea just basically flooded the whole lower city, or it's starting to flood the whole lower city, and that leaves the upper city um, to basically fend for themselves. And they're safe, but the people down here are like trying to survive and trying to get by through life. And it's kind of unfortunate. You meet some people, you even meet some kids and stuff that are just, trying to look for a way to survive and just looking for hope. And it definitely adds that sort of um, emotional feel to the storyline that most other games fail to do. Most stories do not add an emotional appeal, and I think that's the problem with game stories today, is that most of them don't have the emotional side of it. And to be honest, I think Battlefield 3's campaign could have been better if I had an emotional relationship with one of the characters. One of the things that made Heavy Rain so great was the emotional impact. And no other game tackled any kind of emotional impact like that. So yeah, the gameplay was shallow, but the emotional story just kept you so pumped and kept you, just really on edge and stuff. And it proves that if a game is repetitive, as long as the story is as long as the story has that emotional impact, uh, you can continue on. So all right, so moving on. Had it low edit there in a bit. Uh, RPG elements are another thing I want to top on. RPG elements are present in this game, however, they're not mag. They're not used to the point where it makes it an RPG. This is still a third-person shooter. So, but you have the ability to command your squad. First of all, you can tell them to cover yourself, hold position, regroup, and uh, move forward. Push on. So you have that ability to talk to them. And also, another thing I want to top on is the trust system, or what they call, I'm sorry, the consequence system is what they call it. During combat, and keep in mind that friendly fire is turned on throughout the whole campaign. You can't turn it off. So it remains it has like a tactical edge to it. So the RPG elements, or I'm sorry, the consequence system in this game, uh, basically state that okay, if you shoot your friend a couple times, or if you don't follow orders, basically if you give them a command which basically gets them killed or downed or something like that, then they would have they would be mad at you, and then basically they be disappointed by you, your performance. And what that will do is that will lower your trust by saying certain stuff, by giving them, like, you can basically call them an idiot if you want. You can literally call them an idiot, and that will make them feel bad. And through that, by not uh, by not listening to them, and by saying stupid stuff, by calling them an idiot, a lot of times they're not going to follow your orders all the time. If you tell them, let's say if I have a person with high trust and I tell them to cover me, they'll be like, okay, and they'll actually try to cover you, and they'll actually follow orders. Versus if I have low trust and I told him to cover me, he'll basically tell me to fuck off, and literally. So. Uh, the consequence system definitely adds that sort of, okay, fine, I have to be, nice to my teammates, I have to follow orders. I mean, you can literally be an asshole if you want to. It's just that they're not going to follow, you're not going to do what you say all the time. So that basically affects it. And that there are certain cutscenes in this game that are sometimes not present when you don't have low trust. There is a romantic scene in this game that basically, if you had low trust with the girl, they would more or less just, you wouldn't be able to see that cutscene. And it's actually an achievement and trophy to actually see that cutscene. So, I mean, it's not incredibly hard to get high trust at all. You basically just agree with everything they say. Excuse me. And there is a meter constantly. You'll see like arrows going up, meaning you're actually increasing. You're actually increasing your trust, or there'll be arrows going down, meaning that you're decreasing the trust. And it's just consequences from doing just being or consequences from saying something. So just like normal stuff. But that definitely adds some pretty cool elements. In addition, you can buy nano machines, which are basically upgrades for your physical status. You can make yourself faster, make your self more, basically increase your defense so that you can't get shot, or you can't get shot as much and get hurt as much. I'm messing up now. There's other stuff that will, basically you just increase your combat effectiveness overall, and that's cool. In addition, you can also upgrade your weapons, which is probably my favorite thing. Throughout the whole game, you earn credits through each kills. There's a little credit meter on the top, and then there's actually shops throughout the whole game. Basically, you can access these shops, and basically upgrade your weapons, buy nano machines, buy ammo, even buy weapons there. They're like little vending machines, and your character just takes out a credit card, and then you can buy upgrades for all your stuff, or just go, buy brand new things overall. So I definitely enjoyed the upgrade system. Upgrade my weapon was the best. You're gonna basically upgrade your standard assault rifle, the one that you start out with from the beginning of the game. You're gonna basically keep that assault rifle throughout the whole game. You can carry 3 weapons. You'll always have a pistol, and the pistol always has infinite ammo. So you'll never run out of ammo in this game, which is important, because if you did, there probably wouldn't be any way to advance. You need to have ammo in this game, and sometimes you'll have to use your pistol. Sometimes you won't find as much ammo and stuff like that. So you have to use your pistol. Other times, you can just use your assault rifle or grenades. But you'll have your pistol, your assault rifle, and then your choice of a sniper, another assault rifle, or a light machine gun. And then you have grenades out on the bottom. And there's multiple grenades. There's EMP grenades, frag grenades. There's I forgot what they call them. I'm just gonna call them dummy grenades. It's basically spit out a hologram of like something stupid, and basically attracts all the robots to that. Like there's clowns, like it'll shoot out like a hologram of like a clown like doing something, or like some hooker, like that, and all the robots come over there, just thinking it's an enemy, and you can just take them out that way. So that's pretty cool. Right. Next is, actually, I do want to talk about the gameplay a little bit more. the fun and fast-paced gameplay. It's extremely fast-paced. Um, like very fast-paced. You're gonna be lots of times you're gonna be you can take lots of times you're gonna be taking cover and just shooting and stuff like that. But during the boss fights, you're gonna have to move and you're gonna have to basically roll and dodge and do all this stuff. Even with regular robots, some robots will rush you, and basically you have to take them out that way. So or take them out really fast before they can hit you. So the gameplay is like extremely fast paced. It's similar to Gears of War, except it's more arcadey. So you can do the rolls and it's basically if you're familiar with Gears of War, you're gonna be familiar with this game. It's just simple as that. Next, what else? Next thing I want to talk about is the cutscenes. Talk about the cutscenes. Um, the cutscenes itself are probably the most enjoyable thing about this game. I enjoyed watching the cutscenes a lot, and they are there's a cinematic experience, but the cutscenes are really well done and just really enjoyable overall to watch. It's like you're watching a movie when you're watching these cutscenes. You just want to find out what's going on next and other stuff like that. And some of these cutscenes even have cutscene interaction. And the interaction is sometimes you have to, there's like quick time events that can get you to a certain area. For instance, there's one where you're going to be on a car, right? Like a truck. And as the truck's, or I'm sorry, let's talk about the train one. The train, basically the train, got blown up on the side and it's about to disconnect. The cars are about to disconnect, and you basically have to press the quick time event so you can jump off the train and get onto the other one. So definitely it adds that sort of, okay, now you have to pay attention to the cutscenes, and this can happen at any moment. So it's pretty cool, and if you fail, then you die, and you can just try again. So, but the cutscenes are definitely probably the best out of this whole game. You're probably gonna enjoy them more than anything, I would say. So there's that. Next up, this game does actually have a variety in gameplay. I know a lot of people are just gonna look at the gameplay and just see shooting, but like I said, you're gonna be mixing it up. There's gonna be sometimes there's puzzle solving, sometimes there's platforming even during one segment near the end. There's some driving stages, or there's just one driving stage, I think. Yeah. So definitely they do mix it up, and it's kind of surprising. You're like, wow, they actually put this in the game, and it fits perfectly. It does. It does go really well with the experience. So good variety in gameplay overall. Okay. As far as the story, let's just say one more thing about the story is that there's tons of twists. Now, in a game like this, you're gonna probably expect that there's gonna be twists. So you're gonna guess those. I was trying, when I was playing the game, I was just guessing. Okay, maybe this is gonna happen, or maybe the twist is gonna be this. I was kind of expecting a huge twist, and I got one of the twists right. Actually, I was like, okay, fine, yeah, I expected that, this was gonna happen. But then the game threw two more twists at me that completely threw me off track. And near the end of the game, when just all this stuff happens, when there's people working on the inside, or something isn't right, or someone turns on you or something like that, it's just the twists and everything in this game make the ending probably the most enjoyable and surprising ending of all. All right, and most of these games just have one twist, and you're like, okay, I kind of expected that, and then you just move on. But this game, you kind of expect the first twist, you get it right, you feel happy, and then all of a sudden they throw two more twists at you, and you're just like, whoa, it throws you off balance. So the twist in this game really, really got me hooked and just got me excited overall. I was really surprised and excited that they just threw everything at you at once with a twist and really just got you confused. You know, it's like, who can you trust, really? So that is that's cool. You know, it definitely is cool. Uh, I'll talk about the ending. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but all I'm gonna say is that the ending actually sets it up for a sequel. And they're actually at the end of the credits, which just watch the end of the credits. The credits are like 2 minutes; they're barely anything, which is nice. But just watch, you know, through the credits, and then at the ending, after the credits, there's actually a secret little cutscene there that basically sets it up for a sequel itself. So definitely, when you're done beating this game, watch through the 3 minutes credits. It doesn't take anything, and just see the cutscene at the end. So that's cool. Alright, so that's all the positive things I have to say about it. Enjoyable game overall. I really don't have anything really too negative to say about the game. The voice commands are like the only thing I have to say about it. This game is one of the first games, leaving Connect out, but it's actually one of the few games that actually allows you to talk on a Bluetooth headset or, you know, any other headset and basically say what you want to say to your teammates. So you can tell them to cover me, and they'll cover you. You can tell them to you know, just you can tell them all these different commands. I kind of blanked out there for a sec. You can tell them all these different commands, and then they'll actually, you know, follow you and listen to you. And you can just speak it on the headset. The only problem is, I think it's, excuse the noise outside. The only problem is, I think it's the Bluetooth headset, because I did play I did play the demo for both the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. All right, and I think it just must be the Bluetooth headsets. But as you can see, you know, I just bought this. This is the official PlayStation Bluetooth headset. I just bought this. And I tried using it, but it wasn't working. And it's not that it wasn't working, it was just that it's picking up all this interference through background noise, you know, all this stuff, and it's basically thinking you're saying stuff, but it's not really happening. Um, when I'm playing the demo on the 360, I used a standard Xbox wired headset, and it got all my commands perfectly right throughout the whole campaign, or I'm just throughout the whole demo campaign. Uh, so I'm not sure if that was just an Xbox issue with their headset or not, but yeah, this game, you know, it doesn't really work. It's not that effective. It's really poorly done. And you know, I even changed the settings. I tried to go in there. I tried to mess around with the settings. I did the voice recognition test. It's like, oh yeah, you're perfect, but it's not. In my opinion, I think you should. I mean, it really isn't essential to have the headset at all. You know, I basically maxed out trust on 2 people without using the headset. You know, you could probably do it faster if you actually use the headset, because you can tell them, you know, thanks and stuff like that. But um, yeah, just you don't worry about the headset really, because it's broken and it just isn't really well done. So headset, not something you want to worry about. The last thing I actually do want to talk about is sometimes the battles are a little bit too hectic to the point where you don't know, you know, kind of what to do or anything like that. Sometimes you'll get downed or thrown, and basically you're here on the ground. Your character tries to get up, and another missile hits you, and then you're sliding over there, try to get up again, and another missile hits you. So you have to revive yourself, try to get up. Okay, another missile or something like that hits you, and you have to, you know, revive and then get up. It's just a little bit too hectic, but I think that kind of goes with the game, you know. Like I said, it's Japanese based, so it's gonna have a lot of that hectic, you know, Japanese combat in there. So I mean, it wasn't really a problem for me. After about a quarter way through the game, I started really upgrading my weapons, you know, and stuff like that. So my assault rifle was already kicking a lot of ass, but you know, it was just a little bit too hectic at times. Sometimes it was just stupid, you know, just stupid stuff. You get down for like no reason, or you get like instantly down because like some boss just toppled you. So yeah, sometimes combat is just too hectic. The last thing I want to talk about is the console, the versions, the both versions of Binary Domain, the PS3 version, the version I got, and then the Xbox 360 version. If you have a choice, get it on Xbox. And the reason I'm saying that is the PlayStation 3 version, for some reason, has a huge frame rate problem. It's not a huge, it's not like, a huge dip to the point where it becomes unplayable, but it happens a lot. The frame rate will drop to about 20 frames per second, maybe 20, 22, all right? But it's bad, and you're playing this, and it's like, okay, the frame rate's dipping again, and it only seems to happen when there's a lot of enemies on screen or you're fighting a huge boss, but that was kind of basically the deal. The PlayStation 3 version uses a different anti-aliasing, so that the images aren't as jagged as the 360 version, but the 360 version has um, a higher frame rate, and the 360 version actually performs at a full 30 frames per second, and while the PlayStation 3 does 30 frames, but then it will just drop constantly. So the frame rate was really only the big deal thing for me, but it wasn't too bad to the point where I'm just like, I can't play this, and I just gotta stop. So if you have a choice, get it on Xbox. Other than that, the PlayStation 3 version really isn't a huge deal. It just happens a lot. Just keep that in mind. All right, and that is it. I think that is everything I wrote. Yeah. Anyway, as a score, Binary Domain, in my opinion, is a really good game. I think you guys should definitely check it out. I would give it a solid 9, actually. This game is really enjoyable. I highly recommend you check it out if you like third-person shooters, Gears of War, stuff like that, or just the Japanese style of games overall. Definitely fun, and this is definitely a sleeper hit, I think. Do not miss this. Do not miss it. It's a perfect rent, perfect weekend rental, so if you have a chance, at least just rent it, but really, I think a lot of people are going to miss out on a really good single-player experience that's gripping and thrilling all the way through. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching this abnormally long review. Geez, that was a long time. Um, I should make these shorter, I know, and thanks for watching.